Jim Hagen. And my question is a follow-up to the previous one as far as data and the old adage about showing your work. What is the methodology used to determine the future amount of reserves needed to cover in each space and to cover growth through 2025? And what is the relationship between the number of households in that time period between now and 2025 and the available amount of groundwater in each basin? That'd be one question. Another is, has there been an analysis done? This only affects future undeveloped parcels. Is there an analysis on all the undeveloped parcels in each subbasin? And like, to give you an example, like there's 109 more households will be allowed in Chippewa Basin. How many available undeveloped parcels are there in Chippewa? Is 109? Is that 5%? Is that 20%? Is that 75% available undeveloped parcels? And most importantly, are those property owners, because as what was described at the last planning unit meeting, what is basically being established is a de facto lottery on future development. And are all of these property owners of undeveloped properties and all these sub-basins, especially the Chippewa Basin, going to be notified of this rule? I know that's an exhaustive process, but as been pointed out many times, the county treasurer has no trouble finding us when they need the money from us. So, can you answer those questions?
Who wants to take a shot at this?
I want to start off with,
And put that mic right up to your...
okay, I want to start off with asking Tom Colleen to, and actually I think, well, if I got it right, first of all, it was the methodology to determine the size of the reserves, correct? And then the methodology...
Well, that's the size of the reserves for the households and available from...
Okay, so Tom, can you help? Can you go through that? You did a lot of that work. This is going to take more than one person.
This will be a team effort here by
yeah.
Commissioner Brown.
Well, and one of the first part of the question I thought was just growth rates. How do you know what's the methodology to show growth in 2025?
Okay, I can actually, I can get that started and I can show you the things. Get back to our PowerPoint. Log back on again. And okay, I want to go forward. Okay, this is an example of some of the work we did to try to look at, try to get a handle on what's possible with prospective growth. And I think everybody struggles with this, OFM struggles with it, the growth management folks do. There's lots of different ways of doing it. A lot of them involve starting with your census data, starting with population numbers, and making assumptions about, first of all, for us, we have to make assumptions about how census tracts overlap our sub-basin boundaries, because census tracts don't fit sub-basin boundaries. And then you have to make assumptions about what your median household sizes are. And we started doing these calculations and going back and forth and realized we were making so many assumptions, we were becoming more and more uncomfortable with where we were going. So we decided to take another look at it, and we had building permit data from Jefferson County. The building permit data that we have is tied to parcel data. So that's geographically linked. We could then take our sub-basin boundary and say, all right, what parcels are inside or outside of the sub-basin boundary? And then we had data on water service areas. So this is the Ludlow sub-basin. The dashed line is the service area for, I think it's Olympic Water and Sewer. They may not serve 100% of the properties in that service area, but at least that's their mapped service area. So we looked at what's going on with building permits outside that service area. So we have this little table here off on the right, the full, all the record that we have, we flipped out 5 outside of the service area, that's this column over here, and inside of the service area. So there were a total of 38 building permits issued outside of the Olympic Water and Sewer service area from 1980 through 2006, all of the information that we could get from Jefferson County. We took an average of all the building permits issued annually from 1990 through 2006. We chose to stop at 1990 because in most of the sub-bases before 1990 there were a lot of zeros, and that would bring our averages down. We wanted a little more realistic number to go by. And what we did was project forward, so just all we can do to project forward is often look back. So we said, okay, this is one way to come up with a reasonable estimate. If people keep building new houses at approximately the same rate they have over the past 17 years. So that's what we did. What we did was clip out the areas where there were service areas where people probably, our expectation is there's still available water from those water rights. We did not go through a detailed analysis of how much water was still available within all those service areas, how many more houses we were able to serve. We felt that was another analysis. We did do this as a way of trying to get an idea of what can we expect in the way of projected growth. We didn't link it to vacant parcels directly because the numbers of parcels in a sub-area can change. And we have no way of predicting in what way they would change. So all we were trying to do is get a reasonable estimate of what might happen based on the existing building record. So Thomas, I know there's another question back there.
This is based on what you just said. It sounds like you had a lot of guesswork there. How many people did you talk to in that sub-basin? How many doors did you knock on to find out exactly what they were doing there and what their plans were? What I just heard you say, we guessed, we looked into, we thought we might. Everything was hedging language on every single one of the assumptions that you just described. And these assumptions are the basis of this rule that you're planning. The whole thing is just assumptions. When you came here in August of 2005, we asked the same questions. It looks like all you've done is just repackaged and renamed the same thing you came to us with in August of 2005. You said then, absolutely, we would never put a meter on a well. That was your words. It seems like I just read, of course you're going to put meters on the new wells, but not on the old wells. Is that the camel's nose under the tent? I mean, we're just sitting here beating around the same stuff that we went through in 2005. That's enough. You've got my point.